challenging things that we ask of parents when they get the news that their child has been bullied at school, or perhaps even online, or perhaps even in the neighbourhood, is that we ask them sometimes to stay positive. Why is that so difficult? It's because the emotions that we experience when we get that news are so specifically negative. We may feel sad, we may feel embarrassed, we may feel angry, we may feel even outraged by the whole situation. We may even perhaps feel a little bit vengeful. They're emotions that are incredibly valid, and we need to acknowledge that they're very real too, but they're not always productive. And so what we need to do as parents is decide that we are going to be determinedly positive in this situation. I'd like to tell you why. I dealt with in a school a very difficult situation around bullying some years ago. It was a young man who was deeply affected by some online traffic that had been generated by his classmates. One of them decided to include him in that chat online, and he had seen all the nasty things that had been said about him. It caused significant harm, and he was struggling with his own mental health for a period of time. The students who had done the wrong thing were remorseful. They realised what they had done wrong, and they were ready to make amends. They knew the mess they had made, and they were keen to clean up that mess. The wonderful part too was that they were all parented by people who also saw that mess, and they saw that their kids were the ones that needed to clean that up, and they were determined to work in that space. So we had a group of kids who had done the wrong thing who were keen to fix it. We had a group of parents who were keen for their kids to fix it and to move on and to do something productive about it. We had a school that was utterly determined to do the right thing, and we had a student who was affected who wanted to participate. The anchor on the process was the parent of the child who had been bullied. And the reason for that is that they saw the mental health of their young person deteriorate. They saw the harm, and their own emotions became really hard to deal with. They were overwhelmed by them. And unfortunately, they couldn't see a way through those emotions. They were utterly convinced that their kid would be scarred by this forever, that their mental health will never be the same, that they'll never be able to establish friendships again, and that they will enter the world anchored and affected and held back by this experience. They were convinced that the impact of this forever must be negative. And that meant that their child picked up on some of that and became pessimistic about what the potential outcome could be. The one linchpin that we had here was the parent of the person who'd been victimised by this bullying behaviour. And if we could just get them on side, we were going to get a fantastic result. So I guess this video is to remind you that when that moment comes, your ability to be a little bit Pollyanna as a parent, your ability to say, it's okay, I know this is bad, but things are going to get better. The school are good at this. People are ready to take responsibility. We can get past this. We're strong. We can do it. To remain incredibly positive and incredibly optimistic in your parenting may be a big ask, but it may be the most important step you can take to a better future.